Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. India votes in the fourth phase of parliamentary election. 96 seats up for grabs across 10 states and union territories. 2 years into the Ukraine conflict, Russian President Vladimir Putin replaces Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu with economic specialist Andrei Belozov. Israeli forces return to northern Gaza. Israel says forces preventing Hamas from re-establishing military capabilities. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel has no credible plan for Rafah. And in Spain, separatist parties lose power in Catalan regional election. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's Socialist Party wins election for the first time.
Catalonia today has decided to start up to function with respect, courtesy and counting on everyone.
Let's get to the latest on the world's largest democratic election that's happening in India first. Voting is underway for phase 4th of the Lok Sabha elections, covering 96 constituencies spread over 9 states and a union territory. Polling is taking place in 13 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 11 in Maharashtra, 8 seats each in Madhya Pradesh and Bengal, 5 in Bihar, 4 each in Odisha and Jharkhand, and 1 in Jammu and Kashmir. A total of 1,717 candidates are in fray for the 4th phase of general elections. In this phase, over 19 lakh polling officials are deployed across 1,92,000 polling stations. Voting began at 7 a.m. and will conclude at 6 p.m. Upon completion of phase 4, polling will be finished in 23 states and union territories. Voting is also underway for all 175 assembly seats of Andhra Pradesh and 28 assembly seats of Odisha. All 25 Lok Sabha seats of Andhra Pradesh also are witnessing polls on the same day in the 4th phase of Lok Sabha elections, along with 4 parliamentary seats of Odisha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged people to cast their votes in large number in the 4th phase of elections. Posting a tweet, Prime Minister said, and I quote him, "In today's 4th phase of Lok Sabha elections, 96 seats spread across 10 states and union territories are going to polls. I'm sure people in these constituencies will vote in large numbers, and the young voters as well as women voters will power this surge in voting. Come, let us do all our duty and strengthen our democracy." Prime Minister has also urged people of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha to exercise their franchise in large number in the assembly elections. All right, we have our reporters stationed in different parts of the country to get us more on the polling percentage and how polling is progressing in their respective states. Yogesh Sheetal is joining us from Pune in Maharashtra, and also Dibendu Mondal is joining us from West Bengal. First, I'll go across to Yogesh. Yogesh, good morning. You there in Pune, 11 seats in Maharashtra go to polls today. Let us get more from you as to how do you see the polling, or in fact the voter turnout. How has it been so far since morning? Polling began at 7 a.m.
Good morning, Preeti. Polling started on a very positive note. We have seen here in Pune, there are 4 parliamentary constituencies in Pune, Shirur, Mawal, Pune City and Baramati. The polling in Baramati already concluded in the 3rd phase and raised to 3 polling, parliamentary constituencies. Currently, the polling is underway. You can see behind me the very exciting views. You can see a girl is taking pics of the women assembled here. They have just cast their vote and you can see very exciting visuals. Apart from that, also I'll tell you how senior citizens and women in large number have turned up since morning, not only in Pune but also total 23,284 constituencies in all 11 parliamentary polling booths in all 11 parliamentary constituencies, and the excitement, we are getting visuals from all the constituencies. The excitement is really very high. People are coming in large number to cast their votes, to exercise their franchise. Now coming to the key candidates in this phase, Rao Saab Danve, Minister of State for Railways, contesting from Jalna. Also in Pune, there are direct contest between BJP and Congress. Coming to Aurangabad, the central Marathwada region, Aurangabad AIMIM, the only seat that contested that was secured by the AIMIM. Definitely the party is trying to retain that seat in this phase also. Coming to northern Maharashtra, because we know the northern and western Maharashtra, there are 2 regions, and central Marathwada, these 3 regions, there are 11 seats in these 3 regions that are being contested in this phase. Coming to Nandurbar, the tribal, basically tribal belt in Nandurbar, we have recently seen the intensified campaign by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also by the Congress star campaigner Priyanka Gandhi. So the campaigns were, extremely very heated campaign we had seen, and currently the voting is underway there also. Apart from those 2 regions, coming to western pockets of Maharashtra, in Shirur, direct contest between the two factions of Shiv Sena, Sharad Chandra Pawar and Shiv Sena led by Eknath Shinde, NCP Sharad Chandra Pawar and NCP led by Ajit Pawar. Coming to Ahmednagar, where the both faction of Shiv Sena is basically contesting. So in this phase, 4 regional parties, earlier 2 strong regional parties, NCP and Shiv Sena. Since the split in both the regional parties, now Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde group, Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray group, and NCP, Sharad Pawar, NCP, Ajit Pawar. There are 4 regional parties and 2 key parties, BJP and Congress. So in this phase, there are 11 constituencies, and we are witnessing tough contest here. There are 298 candidates in the fray in this phase. After that, we know the last phase on 20th, where the fifth, total 5 phase in Maharashtra election is going on, and this is the second last phase. We may expect good turnout this time, the way we are witnessing here, the people coming in the large numbers. I think as the day proceeds, we may get more clarity and expected turnout by the end of the day.
All right, Yogesh, very quickly, do we know anything about the polling percentage so far, the numbers?
Right. Different regions have different polling percentage. Coming to Aurangabad, we have just received the polling percentage 7.98. In Nandurbar, there's 6.56, roughly around somewhere around 6.58. Comprehensively, we can see if we just combine, this is roughly around 7 point something as of now. But the more clear picture would emerge as the day proceeds. As of now, the 7 point, you can say the roughly 7 is the percentage of all the 11 constituencies at this point in time. And I think by 11 a.m., we can get some clear picture also.
All right, so we'll get a more clearer picture by 11 a.m. From here, I'll bring in Dibendu Mondal, who's joining us from Ranaghat, West Bengal. Dibendu, in West Bengal, 15.24% voter turnout has been recorded till 9 a.m. That's indeed impressive with just 2 hours of polling recorded. Let us get more from you as to how do you gauge the political temperament in these southern constituencies that are up for grabs today. And also let us get more from, because in the visual behind you, I see a lot of women voters have gathered to exercise their franchise. And that was the call by the Prime Minister also today morning when he asked the women to come out in huge numbers and young voters to come out in huge numbers. Let us see, what are you picking up from ground?
Good morning, Preeti. Once again, of course, as you said, I'll just step out of the frame for a minute and I'll show you the number of people that have been queuing up here since morning. we have seen in other places as the day proceeds, the crowd thins. But what we are witnessing here in Bengal is completely different. As the day increases, as the day passes by, the crowds have been increasing here in this part of Bengal. So, of course, excitement amongst the voters here in Bengal, and the voting percentage also shows 15.24% of polling within the just first 2 hours of opening of the polling booths. Perhaps gives a sense that how excited the people of Bengal are to vote, and I just showed you the amount of people already waiting in the queue to cast their vote. It's about 10 a.m. in the morning, and the crowds keeps increasing as the day goes by. So, of course, West Bengal is hoping to have over 80% of voting percentage this time around here in Bengal, as has been the case always in West Bengal. We have seen over the last many elections, take it 2014 Lok Sabha, 19 Lok Sabha, the 2016 or the 2021 state assembly elections, it has always been over 80%. And, this is what is also expected this time around in terms of polling percentage in Bengal. But when we speak about the issues, it's, of course, a mix of both national as well as local issues that the people of West Bengal are keeping in mind while they are going to cast their ballot. The national issues is, of course, about the national security and the stature of the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. That's, of course, in the mind of the voters, because I was just speaking to a couple of them just before talking to here, and the people have been talking about the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But having said this, Preeti, the Trinamool Congress here is also a strong force to reckon with for the BJP. So, of course, the battle is tough, and both the TMC and the BJP is fighting out a tough battle in Bengal, I would say. Back to you.
All right, Dibendu, when we're talking of the issues, when we're talking of what is it on the minds of the voters, you've talked of that as well. And also you've talked of, the political issues that are on the minds of the voters and the political parties. You've talked of what is at stake. But then if we talk of this fourth phase of polls, what is it that is marking this phase different from the rest of the ones? What are the key highlights that we should look forward to in this fourth phase of elections today?
Well, Preeti, if I may say, the fourth phase of polling in Bengal is star-studded, if I may use that word. Of course, and why I say this is because, there are a number of star candidates of different political parties that are contesting elections in Bengal from this phase. The Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is one who is, who had been an MP from the Baharampur Lok Sabha for the last 25 years. He's defending his bastion against former cricketer and the candidate from TMC, Yusuf Pathan. If we go to Asansol, an actor turned politician, Shatrughan Sinha from the Trinamool Congress is contesting there against the BJP's SS Ahluwalia. If you also go down further to Bardhaman, Durgapur constituency, we have former cricketer Kirti Azad battling it out against the BJP's Dilip Ghosh, who is the former state president. Go to Birbhum, there's another actor contesting elections. You come down to Krishnanagar, we have Mahua Moitro and the Queen Mother of the Krishnanagar Palace, or the erstwhile Kingdom of Krishnanagar, Amrita Roy. So, of course, these are some big names contesting elections in this particular phase of elections. Of course, a lot at stakes for both the BJP as well as the Trinamool Congress in this particular phase.
Right.
Because, out of these seats, out of these 8 seats, the BJP had about 4 of them in their kitty in the 2019 election. So the BJP is hoping to increase it to 5 this time around. But of course, it is the people behind me like these that will decide, in fact, today, and we'll come to know on the 4th as to who they like.
Yes,
and who
indeed, the voter is always
for.
the king in the democratic process. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this morning on DD India. We'll keep coming back to you during the day. So those were Dibyendu and Yogesh joining us from West Bengal and Maharashtra, spelling out more on the constituencies that are up for grabs and that are witnessing polls today. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, we will also get you more ground action from the places witnessing polls today in the fourth phase. Campaigning at its peak for the fifth phase of parliamentary elections, political leaders holding rallies in several parts of the country. As part of the Indian Navy's operational deployment, 2 Indian naval ships arrive in Malaysia.
Hype versus facts. In-depth news and analysis with experts who will help you decide why this election matters. DD India is the main election headquarters with numbers most accurate, data most reliable, and viewership across the platforms. Stay tuned to the Great Indian Election only on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. Let's continue getting you more election-related updates. Former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and TDP Chief N. Chandrababu Naidu cast his vote in Guntur. Voting for Andhra Pradesh Assembly elections and the fourth phase of general polls are taking place simultaneously today. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy also cast his vote at a polling booth in Kadapa constituency. Congress's Y.S. Sharmila, TDP's Chadipirala Bhupesh Subarami Reddy and YSRCP's Y.S. Avinash Reddy are contesting elections from this seat. Tripura Governor N. Indrasena Reddy, along with his family, exercised his right to vote at a Hyderabad polling booth. YSR Congress Party MP Vijay Sai Reddy also cast his vote at a polling booth in Nellore. Union Minister and BJP candidate from Jalna Lok Sabha seat, Rao Saab Patil Danve, was also among the early voters who cast his vote in Maharashtra's Jalna. Danve is sitting MP from this seat. Film fraternities from southern Cineworld were among the early voters who made their way to the polling stations to cast their votes in Telangana. Superstar Chiranjeevi, along with his wife, cast his vote at a Hyderabad polling booth. Addressing youngsters, he asked them to step out and vote. Using their right to vote, RRR fame NTR Jr. and his family members cast their vote in Hyderabad. Pushpa fame Allu Arjun also exercised his franchise at a Hyderabad polling booth. Superstar and Jana Sena Party chief Pawan Kalyan also cast his vote at a polling booth in Andhra Pradesh's Mangalagiri. Another film fraternity from South Indian cinema, Paruchuri Gopala Krishna, also exercised his right to vote in Hyderabad. A high level of enthusiasm is being seen among voters as people from all sections of societies have come out in early hours to exercise their right to vote. In Uttar Pradesh, elders and specially abled persons were among the early voters as they cast their vote at a polling booth in Bharej. Election Commission has made elaborate arrangements to make poll process easy for the voters. In East Indian state of Odisha, an eco-friendly polling station has been established to create awareness among the voters. The booth describing the green polling booth was set up at Danda Munda village of Nabarangpur Lok Sabha constituency. One such model polling booth was also the essence in Uttar Pradesh's Sitapur. And voting is also taking place in Srinagar parliamentary constituency in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the first general election after the abrogation of Article 370, which granted special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. The abrogation also led to bifurcation of Jammu and Kashmir state into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. All right, to get the latest inputs, we have with us DD India correspondents. Rama Tyagi is joining us from Srinagar and Mark Lynn is joining us from Visakhapatnam. Rama, good morning. Let us get more from you. How are people turning out to vote this morning? Let us get more from you as to how do you gauge the political contest. What is it that marks polling special today in Jammu and Kashmir?
Preeti, a very good morning to you. And the most important thing is here, the most special thing is here, people are coming in large numbers since morning. Before 7, people are in front of the polling booths. And if I ask my camera person if he could show you the line of people, first time these kind of queues we are seeing in Srinagar. People are coming from all walks of life for voting. They are coming, women are here in very large number, and they are coming here, and first time after abrogation of 370, these are the polls without any fear, without any ban call, without any boycott call. And this is the special feature in this process today. You can see the pleasant faces. Weather is very pleasant and people are happy. They are coming out of their houses. They are voting on their own, by their own will. And this is, you are asking about the special feature. This is the special point right now from Srinagar. Preeti.
All right, Rama. From here, I'll bring in Mark Lynn, who is joining us from Visakhapatnam. Mark, good morning. This is the time when the state is witnessing the Lok Sabha polls also, and at the same time the state assembly polls are also held today simultaneously. When we talk of the voter turnout, when we talk of the voter percentage, do you also see this double enthusiasm today?
Preeti, let me say that at 9 o'clock the voter turnout was a little less than 10%, which was under the average. So a little bit of a setback, but if I show you that there's plenty of voter enthusiasm. I'm at the VSS school, a polling station here in Visakhapatnam, Ramnagar, and there are 7 polling stations here. And you can see all across that there are voters in large numbers. There are separate queues for male and female in most of these polling stations. There are about 6,000 people registered to vote in this particular polling in this particular school with 7 polling stations here. So it's likely, and we are seeing huge numbers now picking up during the, from the 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock hour. And most likely this polling number is likely to go up significantly. There are lots of facilities being made for older people to come and vote, and also for women. There are also medical facilities provided for people who might feel a little bit of an excess of the heat for standing up for too long. Of course, there is certain priorities given to senior citizen voters who are gone in, and there are separate queues, as I said earlier, for male and female voters. So things are moving as smoothly as possible. There are a few people who are getting a little tired of standing in the queues, so they're making a bit of a noise. But that one can expect, because the voting for there are 2 votes going on, so it takes a little longer for each voter to cast their vote here. Preeti.
All right, Mark and Rama, thank you so much, both of you, for joining in with those details. So those were our correspondents Rama and Mark joining us from Jammu and Kashmir and Visakhapatnam respectively, telling us more about the voter turnout. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, let's tell you that campaigning for the 5th phase of Lok Sabha elections, scheduled for May 20th, is gaining momentum. Political leaders are holding public meetings and roadshows across the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Bihar and Uttar Pradesh today. He will hold rallies in Bihar's Hajipur, Muzaffarpur and Saran. Later in the day, he will hold a roadshow in the holy city of Varanasi and will also offer prayers at Kashi Vishwanath Temple. Two Indian naval ships, Delhi and Shakti, under the command of Rear Admiral Rajesh Dhankar, arrived at Malaysia's Kota Kinabalu as part of the Indian Navy's operational deployment. The Indian Navy ships will also participate in a maritime partnership exercise at sea with ships of the Royal Malaysian Navy on completion of its harbour visit. Indian naval ship INS Kiltan arrived at Cam Ranh Bay in Vietnam on Sunday. The ship received a warm welcome from the Vietnam People's Navy and the Indian Embassy. The visit is part of the operational deployment of Indian Navy's Eastern Fleet and is poised to further bolster the long-standing friendship and cooperation between India and Vietnam. The BSF under South Bengal frontier foiled a smuggling attempt at the international border in Nadia district on Sunday. Now it seized 26 gold biscuits weighing 3.2 kilograms of gold worth 2.35 crore rupees. The seized gold has been handed over to the customs officer of Banpur for further legal proceedings. On receiving the information about possible smuggling of gold on May 11th from the Intelligence Department of BSF, the Jawans laid an ambush in the suspected area. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, we get to the latest on former US President Donald Trump's hush money case, where Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony charges. Heavy rains continue causing severe floods in Brazil, ravaging the state of Rio Grande do Sul. Death toll rises to 143. First human to receive a new kidney from a genetically modified pig succumbs to end-stage renal disease.
India, the largest democracy in the world. Apart from sheer number of voters, there are many other factors that make the planning and conduct of elections a huge challenge. Geographical diversity, climatic conditions, socio-cultural diversity are addressed in the meticulous planning for elections by the Election Commission of India. A high grade of professionalism, continued innovation, technological integrations, and strategic interventions come into play to ensure free, fair, and credible elections in a country as vast and diverse as India. Due consideration is given to the topography and the ease of travel of voters. Along with this, the security management, religious festivals, harvesting season and climatic conditions also play a key role in finalizing the dates. Also, the Commission keeps in mind the schedule of school exams as teachers are also deployed for election duties. The Election Commission of India has developed a number of tools such as vulnerability mapping deals with preventing voters from being influenced wrongfully in relation to exercise their right to vote. ECI manages the polling station, infrastructure and accessibility of voters as well. A set of rules under the assured minimum facilities take care of proper accessibility to the polling station. Braille facility in the EVMs, proper parking facilities, clean waiting sheds, etc. Force deployment plan along with outreach activities and voter awareness programs are also held to increase voter turnout to ensure smooth elections. The main aim of this mega exercise is to cater to the constitutional mandate and the premise, no voter to be left behind. Bureau Report, DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour, and a quick relook at the top stories once again. India votes in the fourth phase of parliamentary election. 96 seats up for grabs across 10 states and union territories. 2 years into the Ukraine conflict, Russian President Vladimir Putin replaces Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu with economic specialist Andriy Belozov. Israeli forces return to northern Gaza. Israel says forces preventing Hamas from re-establishing military capabilities. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel has no credible plan for Rafah. And in Spain, separatist parties lose power in Catalan regional election. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's Socialist Party wins election for the first time. In a surprise move, Russian President Vladimir Putin has replaced Sergei Shoigu as the defense minister. Shoigu will now become the secretary of Russia's powerful Security Council, apart from taking up responsibilities for military-industrial complex. Also, Shoigu will be replaced by economist and former Deputy Prime Minister Andriy Belozov as Moscow seeks to better utilize the defense budget. Shoigu has been a long-term ally of Putin. However, he had been battling criticism due to his handling of the Ukraine conflict. Sergei Shoigu has had a career spanning over decades. The veteran leader's time in office has also been marred by several controversies. Last year, the head of the Wagner mercenary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, had a failed coup attempt in a bid to oust Shoigu. He was later killed in a plane crash. Prigozhin accused Shoigu of not providing ammunition to Wagner forces during a battle in Ukraine's Bakhmut. Shoigu was under pressure for Russian military setbacks during the initial days of the Ukraine conflict. He was also criticized for purportedly being out of touch with what soldiers were facing on the front line. Let's get to updates on Israel-Hamas conflict now. Israeli forces pushed deeper into Gaza's southern city of Rafah on Sunday while battling Hamas in parts of the North Gaza area where Israel military said that terrorists had regrouped. Israeli military spokesperson Admiral Daniel Hagari told reporters that Israeli forces are operating in Jabalia to prevent Hamas from re-establishing its military capability there. Israel sent tanks into eastern Jabalia on Sunday. The IDF said in addition to Jabalia and Zaytoun in Gaza City, Israeli forces are also operating in Al-Sabra, Beit Lahia and Beit Hanun. The Israeli army had claimed to have gained control of most of these areas months ago. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has defended a decision to pause a bombs delivery to Israel over concerns that they could be used in the southern city of Rafah. Speaking to a news channel, Blinken reiterated the opposition to a major military assault on Rafah and said that Israel has no credible plan for protecting civilians in Rafah. Blinken warned an Israeli attack could create an insurgency by failing to kill all Hamas fighters in southern Gaza City. Israel has announced opening of a new humanitarian aid crossing into Gaza. The IDF in a statement said that the crossing, called Western Erez, was opened in northern Gaza in accordance with the directive of the Israel government and in coordination with the US government. The statement further read that the crossing was established as part of the effort to increase aid routes into Gaza. The IDF in a social media post said that dozens of trucks of humanitarian aid were coordinated on Sunday from the port of Ashdod on behalf of World Food Programme Organization after undergoing security checks. In Sunday's Catalan elections, the Socialists of Spain emerged victorious with the largest percentage of vote, delivering a severe blow to almost a decade of separatist rule. With over 99% of the votes counted, the Socialists, led by Salvador Illa, occupied 42 seats in the 135-seat chamber. Hardline separatist group Junts came in second with 35 seats, and the incumbent, more moderate separatist party, Esquerra Republicana de Catalonia, held 20 seats. The socialist results are a positive sign of Spain's socialist Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's controversial attempt to normalize relations with the rest of Catalonia.
One of the most important and relevant factors leading to victory has been the policies of the Spanish government and in particular of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. Catalonia today has decided to start up to function with respect, courtesy and counting on everyone, and also with ambition. With ambition to once again lead Spain economically.
Y también con ambición. Con ambición.
And now we tell you what's next for Catalonia's independence struggle. Now, support for Catalonia's independence in mainly the wealthy northeastern region. This region speaks Catalan language and borders France. Now, the political parties of the region embraced independence cause, in fact, after 2012 Eurozone financial crisis. But the real breakaway push escalated in 2017 with independence referendum. Though the referendum was declared illegal and suspended by Constitutional Court of Spain, Madrid imposed direct rule in the region and dissolved region's parliament before the Sunday's polls. Two Catalan separatist parties governed the region. Centre-left and moderate ERC controlled Catalan region government with Pierre Aragonès as its president. While the other one is Junts, a spin-off of CIU created in 2017. Its leader, Puigdemont, lives in self-imposed exile in Belgium. But the support for region's independence slipped from its 2017 high as the movement has been marred by infighting among the parties. The latest survey found 42% supported independence compared with 49% in 2017, while 76% of respondents said that they still wanted a referendum. Catalans voted on Sunday for Spain's political stability. Former US President Donald Trump's ex-lawyer Michael Cohen is set to testify in the hush money trial on Monday, where Trump is accused of falsifying the records to conceal a payment to Stormy Daniels. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony charges. Thousands gathered in New Jersey to support the former president. Cohen is a crucial witness in the high-profile case. DD India's Sally Patterson gets us more on this trial.
Michael Cohen once said he would take a bullet for Donald Trump. Now he's the key witness in a trial which could see the former president jailed for years. The case is entering its fourth week, with several witnesses already taking the stand, including adult movie star Stormy Daniels. Last week, she took the jury through the sexual encounter she claims to have had with Trump, which he denies, and the money she said she was paid to keep quiet about it ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, allegedly paid her the $130,000 hush money payment. Prosecutors allege Trump then reimbursed him and filed that money as legal expenses, which they say was illegal. The former president has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records and calls the trial a political witch hunt. Trump's team will likely try and undermine Cohen's credibility, as they have with many of the witnesses who've already taken the stand. They will also point to his criminal record. Trump has repeatedly called Cohen a convicted liar in the past. That's because Cohen already spent more than a year in federal prison for paying the hush money and committing other crimes. When he pleaded guilty to those charges, Cohen said he had paid the hush money at the direction of his former boss. And he told the judge, quote, "I feel it was my duty to cover up his dirty deeds." Sally Patterson in New York, reporting for DD India.
Let's get you weather updates now. Death toll from heavy rains in Brazil's Rio Grande do Sul state rose to 143 as rains continue to pour in the state. Brazil's weather service, Metsul, called the situation extremely worrying. Another 125 people remain unaccounted for in the state, where rivers are reporting rising levels. The government announced around $2.34 billion in emergency spending to deal with the crisis that has displaced more than 538,000 people in the state out of a population of around 10.9 million. Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said that the state will rebuild what was destroyed. The state is at a geographical meeting point between tropical and polar atmosphere, which has created a weather pattern with periods of intense rains or drought. Flash floods and mudslides in Indonesia's West Sumatra province killed at least 37 this weekend. Torrential rain on Saturday evening caused flash floods, landslides and cold lava flow in West Sumatra province. Disaster management authorities grappled to rescue 15 missing people. Survivors sought shelter in a school classroom, recalling that the flooding was sudden and out of control. The season's first major wildfire has spread to roughly 10,000 hectares across Western Canada as authorities issued an evacuation order for a community in British Columbia and warned of poor air quality across the provinces. The federal government has forecast higher than normal spring and summer temperatures across the country. The officials warn that Canada could face another catastrophic wildfire season. A man with end-stage renal disease who earlier this year became the first human to receive a new kidney from a genetically modified pig has died. The Mass General Transplant team is deeply saddened at the sudden demise of Rick Slayman. In a statement, the hospital said that they have no indication that it was the result of his recent transplant. Slayman, 62 years of age, in Massachusetts, received the transplant in March in a 4-hour surgery that the hospital at the time called a major milestone in quest to provide more rapidly and readily available organs to the patients. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Novak Djokovic knocked out of the Rome Open in the third round. In IPL, table toppers Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Gujarat Titans in Ahmedabad today. We get you a sneak peek into what to expect at Cannes Film Festival that begins on 14th of May. As India decides in the world's largest election,
we help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
After India became independent in 1947, the founding fathers of the Indian Republic envisaged a representative parliamentary democracy based on the universal adult franchise. Keeping in line with those ethos, the Election Commission of India was established on 25th of January 1950. The ECI is an autonomous constitutional body responsible for conducting and regulating polls. Its powers are broadly divided into 3 categories: administrative, advisory and judicial. The administrative powers include registration of eligible voters, preparation of poll schedule depending on the availability of resources both in terms of execution and security needs, scrutinize nomination papers of candidates. The poll body's most important task is to ensure the fairness of the electoral process and prevent incidents of rigging, booth capturing and violence. Coming to advisory powers, The ECI can recommend the President and the state governors to disqualify sitting members of Parliament and members of legislative assemblies respectively if they are found guilty of indulging in corrupt practices during polls. As for the judicial powers, the Election Commission cannot review any poll result on its own. This can only be done through an election petition which can be filed before the High Court. But the ECI can settle disputes related to recognition of political parties. Apart from ensuring free and fair elections, the poll body has also been organizing various awareness campaigns to increase voter turnout. Bureau Report, DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. Let's take a look at updates coming in from the world of business now. The benchmark equity indices opened on Monday's trading session in the negative territory. Now the Sensex opened at 72,060, down 600 points or 7.9%. In fact, that was 0.79%. Nifty was trading at 21,897, down by 158 points or 0.72%. The rupee also opened on a flat note at 83.51 against the US dollar. The volatility index surged by 11% to reach 20.65, reflecting heightened market uncertainty and also increased price fluctuations. As phase 4 of the election is underway today, markets are seeing some election jitters. From business, now let's turn focus to sports and tennis. Novak Djokovic was knocked out of the Rome Open in the third round on Sunday by Alejandro Tabello in a stunning 6-2, 6-3 defeat for the 24-time Grand Slam champion. Chilean Tabello earned the biggest win of his career by ending Djokovic's bid for a record-extending 41st Masters 1000 title in just over an hour. Tabello is ranked 32 in the world but was hugely impressive and claimed his first win over a top 10 opponent. The 36-year-old was eliminated 2 days after being accidentally struck on the head by a bottle as he signed autographs following his second-round win over Corentin Moutet on Friday. In cricket, in IPL, Gujarat Titans will host Kolkata Knight Riders in match 63 of the IPL in Ahmedabad today. Also, after becoming the first team to qualify for IPL 2024 playoffs on Saturday, Kolkata will look to confirm its place in the top 2 on Monday by getting the better of Gujarat Titans. On the other hand, after defeating Chennai in the last match, Titans will be eager to beat Kolkata and keep their slim hopes of reaching the playoffs alive. Meanwhile, Royal Challengers Bangalore will earned their 5th consecutive win on Sunday by beating Delhi Capitals. PSG fans expressed gratitude for forward Kylian Mbappe's time with the club ahead of their face-off with Toulouse on Sunday as he played his last home game for them. While some expressed sadness, most insisted the focus should be on his achievements and wished him success with his future club. Mbappe confirmed his departure from Paris Saint-Germain after his season on Friday, opening the door for his expected move to join Real Madrid. He expressed gratitude for his time at the club, that is Paris Saint-Germain, acknowledging the club's role in his development as a player and as a person. Magnus Carlsen claimed a jaw-dropping victory in the World Rapid and Blitz Poland event on Sunday after going on a rampaging run where he defeated all the other 9 players in a row to pip China's Wei Yi by half a point. World number 1 went on a 10-game winning streak to overhaul Wei, who was leading by 2.5 points after Saturday. The event also had 3 Indian prodigies, World Chess Championship challenger D. Gukesh, Pragananda and Arjun Erigaisi, besides a host of top grandmasters like Anish Giri, Nodirbek, Abdusattorov and Vincent Kemar. While Pragananda was 4th and Erigaisi was 5th, Gukesh ended at the last spot. The Cannes Film Festival begins on 14th of May. So where does India figure in the festival this year? Munmun Bhattacharya gets us more.
The azure blue waters of the French Riviera and the iconic 24 steps on the red carpet are beckoning again. The curtain will lift on the Cannes Film Festival on 14th May. And for 12 days, it will be a celebration of an eclectic mix of world cinema and fashion.
The Cannes Film Festival is nothing short of an annual pilgrimage for celebrities, actors, filmmakers, fashionistas and film and fashion aficionados, besides tourists who flock up to this French city to see it unleash its magic year after year. The visibility and popularity of this film festival is such that it is seen as a template for international film festivals around the world. Celebrities walk up the stairway to glory, surrounded by shutterbugs as the world watches in awe. And guess what? Amid the big names such as Meryl Streep, who will be the guest of honor at the opening ceremony, and Greta Gerwig, who's chairing the jury at the festival, India is all set to make a big splash at Cannes this year.
Do you know that India is back in the reckoning in the main competition of the festival after a hiatus of 30 years? Payal Kapadia's debut feature film, All We Imagine As Light, is the first Indian film to compete for the prestigious Palme d'Or Award in 3 decades. Her documentary, A Night of Knowing Nothing, was the winner of the Golden Eye for Best Documentary during the 2021 edition of the festival. British Indian filmmaker Sandhya Suri's debut feature film Santosh will be screened under the Uncertain Regards section. Sister Midnight by Indian director Karan Kandhari will be shown in Director's Fortnight. Indian director Mesam Ali's In Retreat will have its world premiere in Association for the Diffusion of Independent Cinema. That's a parallel independent sidebar in Cannes. Sunflowers Were First Ones to Know by Chidanand Nayak, a student of Film and Television Institute of India, has been chosen for the Last NF competitive section. The short film, made in Kannada, was shortlisted among entries from across the globe and will now compete against 17 other international short films in the final stage. Shyam Benegal's Manthan, a film focusing on the Amul Dairy cooperative movement, will be presented in the classic section, adding a touch of historical significance to the festival's Indian lineup. The film reels were preserved for several decades in film walls and later restored. National Award-winning cinematographer Santosh Sivan will be the recipient of the prestigious Peer Ingenue tribute at the festival. He will also deliver a masterclass for Cannes delegates, becoming the first Indian to be honoured with this distinction. The Bharat Pavilion at the festival will be inaugurated on 15th May in the presence of eminent film personalities. Designed by the National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad, the pavilion depicts this year's theme of Create in India.
In the Indian camp, the spotlight is going to be on 2 things. One is a session that is titled Abundant Incentives, Seamless Facilitations, Come Create in India. Here the focus is going to be on how India is offering so many incentives for film production, on co-production opportunities, as well as on post-production facilities in India. Besides that, the focus is also going to be on Bharat Parv. It is for the first time that India is organizing such a festival at the Cannes Film Festival, and the focus there is going to be on networking with film personalities and stakeholders from around the world, besides promoting the 2 marquee international film festivals hosted by India, MIF and IFFI, and of course showcasing Indian talent and opportunities. So come to Cannes, and if you can't, do watch our coverage of the Cannes Film Festival on DD News and DD India, and get ready for India to unleash its magic at the Cannes Film Festival in 2024. With cameraman YK Loknath, this is Munmun Bhattacharya for DD India.
All right, with that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. Now, the app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on your screens to download